You are listening and watching to a very special podcast. Okay, guys. You remember when I mentioned of me doing a behind the scenes sort of thing? Well, you know what? I was trying to find the words to say, but now I think I got them all written down. Just don't want to say the wrong thing or say anything too long and be all boring. So I'm gonna make it interesting and let you guys see. So yeah. This is Underneath the Veil of Phenomenon Serendipity's behind the scenes. Sorry, there's no voice actors or anything like that. I wish it was real. But I'm not expecting anything to happen just yet. I'm just gonna give it a while until. Nah, not gonna say that. Forget it. Anyways, let's get things started, shall we? Alright, for Phenomenon Serendipity, I wanted to create something. In 2011, it was around, well, Christmas time. Around Christmas Eve, and I was like a big fan of Bleach, and also I used to like Naruto, but not anymore, and also One Piece by Funimation dubs, like the dubs of One Piece in Funimation was so much better than 4Kids, and I've been kind of interested in the Funimation version of One Piece, and also like Bleach was my big thing, but now I'm kind of getting tired of it because I know what's gonna happen, and now Naruto is ending, so yeah, it was pretty much a bummer. And then around Christmas Eve, and I heard about Fairy Tail before, and I was like, eh. I looked at the trailer and I'm like, nah. But then one day on Christmas Eve in 2011, and yes, I remember that day, I was out getting some last minute Christmas shopping with my family when we were moving into a new house in Florida. Now I live in Indiana, but that's a different story. So now, I was like at the checkout, and then I was just looking over at the magazines, and all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, I could not believe my eyes. There they were, Fairy Tail, on the cover of U.S. Anime magazine. It was awesome. I looked in and I saw them in there for a bit. I was like, wow. But on the cover, oh my god, it got etched in my brain. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give Fairy Tail a try. And I ended up loving it. It was cool. There were some humorous moments, there were some sad moments, and there were some heartwarming moments, and there were some really cool moments, and I was like, wow. And they got some pretty interesting characters in there, so I was like, awesome. So anyways, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a crossover, and it's not going to be like any fan fiction one, and I'm going to write it all down, and I might put it on my blog, and I might whatever. But then the original story was like before I created Maggie and Vivi to be heroes. My original story was Ferrer started off as a former character, and I had these main characters, but they didn't really fit the story. So I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work out. So I'm like, dah. So then I was like, okay, I gotta maybe do something because like somebody needs to. And I've been working on that since 2011, and then in 2012, I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I decided to add Gintama, and also I wanted to add Soul Eater, and also Blue Exorcist. But then I was like, before I discovered Blue Exorcist, I was into Soul Eater, and also Gintama was pretty interesting. And then but then I found out Soul Eater was ending, so I was like, no. But then I continued more, and then I got into Blue Exorcist like last year or 2 years ago. And it was really good. It was really good. And I was really impressed that Johnny Young Bosch played the voice of Yukio and Bryce Pattenbrook played Rin. I was really impressed by how they played the characters so good. And I love how Bryce played a character who was really has so much energy and really hot-blooded, and he can be sometimes pretty crazy. It's actually pretty funny. Yeah. So, like when I was watching Blue Exorcist, it was really amazing. It was the story was really good, and you know, my favorite character was Yukio mostly because he was pretty cool, really kind, and this was like one of Johnny's best work as a brilliant and kind young man, which was pretty good. But anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna add Blue Exorcist. The manga was still continuing, but the anime was short-lived, and they had like an anime movie, and it was pretty good. I didn't see the movie yet. I wish I could, and it has it online. So yeah. But anyways, so I added Blue Exorcist and Gintama. I only got interested in that series because of the Shinsengumi. Yeah, I know I'm weird. I get into characters that are not always the main one, but Attack on Titan is a different story. So then I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. What else? So I kept working on it, but then I realized some characters like Maggie and Bella Venetia, I made them into villains, but then I'm like, okay, I don't think the story's working for me, so I'm like, no, no. I had many different ideas, and I was kind of running out of ideas, so then, yeah. So the things that inspired me, I mean, I was inspired by many different things. Um, where I got my ideas and characters and also my inspiration. My inspiration mainly came from fairy tales like Red Riding Hood and Beauty and the Beast and different sorts of things. And but the main characters are kind of a little bit similar to this 2011 fantasy action film Sucker Punch, which I thought was pretty good, and the popular anime that was released in the 2000s, and you've guys seen it on Toonami, and it's Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. And also there is this cult classic movie based off a comic book series called Tank Girl, you know, the one with Lori Petty. Yeah, I thought that movie was pretty good, even though it was kind of weird, but at the same time, it was pretty cool to have some sort of character that was really wisecracking and cool and has a lot of style to it. For Barrere, her name came from the fairy tale Sleeping Beauty because Sleeping Beauty's name wasn't really Aurora, but it was also Barrere Rose. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Barrera actually came from many different inspirations, like Stephen King's Carrie and American McGee's Alice, and also the 2013 game of Tomb Raider, where Lara Croft is all bruised up and she's covered with scars, and she's a soul survivor, and she's got the bow and arrow, and this is like a prequel before she actually became the adventure treasure hunting girl, which is kind of neat. Yeah. So Barrere became the main character after I decided to change the fact that she's not going to be the least main. So I wanted to make her main character. And for Chloe, she was inspired from Teen Titans Raven. I mean, her powers. And the blonde hair idea came from me. I didn't get it from any model, but I've always had this image in my head where I see a girl with blonde hair, all aflow, and she's controlling these dark powers. Then there's Randy Kerr. She was, now she's like half human, half nymph, but she was really inspired from the beautiful Australian model Miranda Kerr, and she's actually married to the heartthrob actor Orlando Bloom. And yeah, she's like the most gorgeous woman and model you've ever seen. Yeah. So yeah, you guys get the whole idea of where I get these kinds of things. And for Maggie, I wanted her to have blood powers. And after I saw this anime, Dead Man Wonderland, I was like, awesome. And the exoskeleton part from Maggie was actually inspired from the Marvel comics like Venom and Carnage. Yeah, it's pretty epic stuff. So I wanted to tell you guys the first half. Don't worry, I got like the second half coming up. So stay tuned. So I'll see you next time. I'm Catherine Donovan. See ya. Bye.